You're listening to Zap Night, a video game review podcast, with your hosts, Danny and Kaylie. Hey guys, and welcome to Zap Night. I'm your host, Danny.
And I'm your co-host, Kaylie.
This is episode 20.
Yay! 20 episodes.
Yeah. We played, and we are reviewing Super Mario Maker today.
I love this game.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. So, getting into it, it was developed by Nintendo, of course, and it was developed for the WiiU, but then a year later it came out for the 3DS. It was released in September 2015, and then, like I said, a year later, December 2016 for the 3DS. Miyamoto, Mr. Mario himself, he was talking about how this game is way more advanced in building levels than what they were doing when they first had the Nintendo. You know, when they were building levels for the Nintendo. They were doing it like on Mylar sheets and scanning everything in, and yeah, so it's just kind of interesting that we are using tools that are building legit Mario levels way better than what they were doing when the first Mario came out, so that was kind of fun. So, because Mario Maker is
like all the games in one, plus building. It's
specifically not story. Like, there isn't any story built into this, and there's nothing wrong with that, but I couldn't really give it a fair score off the top of my head for a story, because it's like, you know, what do? Do you give it a low score because there's no story? Do you give it a high score because there's no story, and it's not meant to have a story?
Right.
So what we decided on to do is to take all of our scores and adjust it for the average to assign for story. So we'll kind of jump into graphics first. For graphics, I gave it an 8.
I gave it a 6.
Some of my pluses is it looked awesome in HD. Like, just a full screen TV, all the levels looked really clean, and the animations worked really good. The WiiU handles it really well. When you're looking at some of these levels that people do where they have, you know, a bajillion enemies in one level.
I hated those levels.
Right, I did too,
I skip them immediately.
But the WiiU handles them with ease. I mean, they do a great job with managing how the hardware plays with all of that information. Otherwise, I mean, it really is just a simple game. I mean, they just took all the Mario games and threw them into one big game.
There was a few things, though, that were missing. Like, just little things. Like, I don't know if you remember this, but in Super Mario Brothers, they have these little blocks that you pick up, and the second you pick them up, they start blinking.
Yeah. And
after a while, they just poof, they're gone. Yeah. They don't have that. But on the other hand, though, I think they added the caterpillars into one of the other ones. I think it might have been the third one. So I don't think the third one had, the caterpillars you jump on. I don't think they had, I don't know for sure, but I don't think they had them. So, I mean, they added some features, but they didn't include some features.
Yeah, I know.
And one of the things that bothered me, too, was if you had a Yoshi already, when an egg opened up, it would be alive. And they don't do that anymore. It's just another Yoshi.
Yeah.
And there's just a couple things here and there that's like that just kind of irks me. It's not what I'm used to, just because I've played the heck out of these games.
Sure.
I thought graphics, it was all the same stuff, with a little extra spice to it.
Sure, and that's what I liked about it, is that it really looked like a good game. It wasn't, pushing the boundaries of what the WiiU can do, but it's still, for them being just old Mario games, they did bump up the, just the rendering looked a lot cleaner than what the original games looked like. And I thought it just looked nice. It was easy to play, and it ran well, and it just looked good.
Yeah.
So, gameplay. Obviously, this is like the highlight of this game, because that's basically what it is gameplay. If you've never played Mario Maker before, it's pretty straightforward. You're making Mario levels. You are given all the tools to build them. What I really liked, it was really easy to just pick up and start playing.
Yes.
It was easy, like, even the tutorial, like, learning how to build the levels, they start you off with just a few items, and then they kind of grow as you play, as you're building your levels, they add more to it so that you have more options. and they kind of teach you how to use those options.
What I really like about this, though, is it's not just building levels, too. Like, if you want to play someone else's levels, there's a whole bunch of different, like, levels you can play, the, like, official levels, fan-made levels, and then, like, the 100 Mario Challenge and all that stuff. So, if you don't feel like making, you can go play and get some ideas from everyone else.
And that's kind of the second half to this whole game. You know, you have the first half is building the levels. The second half is sharing and playing other people's levels. And my biggest fear with this game is if they cut that online service, you're kind of left with just playing your own Mario levels, which is kind of fun, but it's definitely lacking the majority of what this game brings to the table.
Just recently, they cut off the Miiverse, and that was part of their server, I believe, for the Mario comments and stuff. So that discontinued. So you can't make comments anymore on Mario Maker, which is fine. It's not necessary, but it makes you realize this is starting to get old.
Yeah.
And at one point, you know, when the servers go down, when you can't play any line anymore, it's, to me, I feel like online, that's like the highlight of this gameplay is. So if that goes, then it's just not, you know, it's just not going to be fun anymore. Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah, I would like to think that they'll keep it around for quite a while, or they'll roll it out, you know, move it to another platform or something to keep it rolling. I can't imagine those levels take up that much space on their servers, but still, I mean that's money that we're not paying for. You know, we paid for the game and that's it. So if they're, you know, like you say, 10 years from now, all that's going to be gone. It's not even going to be, you know, a mainstream platform anymore. They'll either have to build something else or it'll just be gone.
But
that said,
that's really more for overall.
It still is a lot of fun to be able to share our levels with other people. And really, for anybody listening to this, I'm going to list all of our levels that we played in the description below. So if you guys want to go through the description and play our online levels,
good luck.
Yeah, seriously, Kaylie, jeez. My levels are easy, but Kaylie's levels are crazy hard.
Sorry. So what did you give it?
I give it a 9 out of 10.
I gave it a 10 out of 10.
That's fair, absolutely.
Yeah. I mean, really, the sky's the limit, and even then, because there's kind of like one of my levels, I had seen a glitch. I mean, I'm not taking credit for finding that, but there, you know, even with the glitches, you can use them so it's not only the sky's the limit, it goes beyond.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So,
it's really neat. It really is interactive art. Like, you can do whatever your imagination wants to do. You are limited, and I put this as a negative, which is why I didn't give it a 10 out of 10. You're limited to how many blocks are on the screen.
Yeah, although I have reached that limit, and most of the time the reason why I've reached that limit is just because I've added a load of just background blocks.
Sure, yeah, and that's what I ran into too, is I was building a bunch of background blocks and clearing them out as I built it, and at some point it's just like, you can't place anymore. It just feels limiting, you know, when you're in the middle of trying to build something and it's like, nope, you can't do that anymore. It just sucks.
One thing that we should probably also touch on that really probably could have gone under graphics is the costumes for the regular Mario.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Which interacts with the amiibos, which I guess is technically gameplay.
It's tough saying. I mean, you know, they rebuilt all of these
like
sprites for the game. So they have, and a lot of them correspond to amiibos, but not all of them. You can get some just by playing online, some of the official Mario
levels.
Yeah, event levels or whatever. So there's like a bunch of Pokemon you can play as, a bunch of the Animal Crossing. There's like Pigmen.
Yeah, even like the Mario Maker like the Mario Maker dog.
Yeah.
And there's like a Wii board, like the little like weight board.
Yeah.
Some of them are really cute. I've got quite a few of them.
And there's, I don't know, maybe a couple hundred that
there's
you can
collect.
There's a lot.
Yeah, there's a lot.
So it's really neat that they added all that in there.
Well, and on top of that too, I like to add that you don't have to have the amiibos, and you can play the 100 Mario challenge on like medium to hard. And when you've beaten all those levels, you get a costume at the end. Mm-hmm. So it's also rewarding. Like if you don't want to go out and buy the money for the amiibos, you get the costumes.
I think that the menus were really easy to navigate through. Actually building the levels, it was really easy to flip through the different toolbars. You could build your own custom toolbar if you're doing something very, specific.
I liked the art concept of the building because like Mario had like a little tool belt and the level like robot area it just looks like a factory almost. I think it's really cute for making a level.
Oh, a couple other things that I didn't like. There was a limit to how many doors you could have, and there was a limit to how many warp pipes that you could have going to the like underground.
Yeah.
Also, in other games, in actual Mario games, when you go through the warp pipe, you can kind of go to different types of areas. Like, you could start off in the upper, like, main grassy field area, and then you could use a warp pipe to go into, like, a water plane.
Right.
Or a water, whatever. And you didn't have that option. You were kind of limited to whatever the warp pipe, wherever the warp pipe took
didn't.
you. No, you could change that?
Mm-hmm.
Well, you'll have to show me how, because I couldn't figure out how to do it.
Yeah, you can change it. The only thing that I would have liked is if you could have changed the other one to, like, a different Mario type. So, like, the first part of the level, you would be, like, Super Mario Brothers, and you go back to the first one, or the third one.
That would be cool.
But yeah, you definitely can change the...
What type of level you warp to.
Yep.
Okay, well then I guess that's not really a negative. But I did run into problems with the doors. Where I'm... Like the ghost... I built one that was a Zap Ghost, or the Zap Night House, or Zap House, whatever I called it.
It was a ghost house.
And every room was, unique. And I wanted to have more rooms. Well, eventually I just ran out of doors. I was able to get around it by having a warp pipe to an underground and have more doors in the underground. But still, you're limited.
I think, though...
It's frustrating.
I mean, I realize it couldn't be too much information, but that would be, like, some of these people go crazy over the door, like, especially the doors. Because there's times I've played levels where there's just doors all over the place.
Yeah.
And it can kind of get confusing. And on top of everything else that you can add, I think it's just, if they allowed any more doors, it would get kind of crazy. I guess I'm saying I understand why they didn't allow anymore. It would have been nice to have had more than what we had, but I kind of get it.
I did notice that house one specifically, I wanted to change where some of the order to the rooms, and it was like I almost had to clear out all the doors and replace them again just so that I could get it in the right order, because it was so difficult to just move a couple doors because that screwed up the whole order of the entire house. So yeah, I did run into some confusion.
Yeah, that would be...
But still, I mean, just...
The nice thing is, though, is they found a way to, like, label them that you didn't see when you played the level. They've got it, like, marked with, like, spades and, like card symbols and stuff. No, I feel like it was fairly organized for all... I mean, there's so much. And you can custom... Like, I believe you talked about this. You can customize your
toolbar.
Yeah.
Yep. And the online aspect is fun. I like that you have to actually play your levels before you post them. It makes every level a valid, beatable level.
Right.
Even if they're insanely hard and there's only one way to do it, it doesn't matter as long as it's beatable. So, it's kind of a double-edged sword for some people. If there's people out there just building stupid levels just to be stupid.
And they're out there.
Oh, they are.
And they'll always hide an itty-bitty door or something in a hidden block.
Yep. But otherwise, for the most part, if you do like the 100 Mario challenge, you still are given enough beatable levels that are fun.
Yeah.
And I've done the Mario challenge quite a few times, and it's fun to see what... There's a ton of those don't move...
Yeah, those
automation
those were
levels.
Cool at first, but they're getting a little boring now.
Yeah.
But, I mean, I would much rather have that someone took the time than the crap ones where they just place enemies.
Yeah.
And they're like, try and beat this. And it's... even when I find, like, a crappy level that you have to navigate, I still appreciate it more because they didn't just put a whole bunch of enemies and was like, good luck, hardest level ever.
Yeah.
It's like there was no thought that went into some of these. But you can skip those, which is also really nice.
Right. Yep, exactly. So then, let's go ahead and move on to music, I guess.
There's really not much to say.
Not really. I went ahead and gave it an 8 out of 10 just because the music that was there was, good old school Mario music.
I always, when I don't know what to score it, I always meet it in the middle with a 5. And I mean, they reused their... I don't think there was... If there was, I'm not aware of it. They reused all of their Mario music. Didn't they use Mario Paint music?
Yeah. They used a little bit of Mario Paint music. I liked that they kind of did the remix stuff while you were building.
Oh,
they did... Well, no, it's not just that. It's... The actual song itself is kind of a remix
that is pretty
of
cool, yeah.
the actual tune. But yeah, even when you're placing the blocks,
like,
they make the sound
of what you're placing.
Yeah, they say the name of what you're placing in a tune of the
like when you place level. When you place something and you get a sound effect like a clunk or something. Yeah. No, that is pretty cute.
It does get old though after a while.
Yeah.
I mean, when you're building, half the time that I was building, I just had the volume off because it was just, you're just focused in and just playing it. It's kind of therapeutic in that way, actually.
Yeah, I won't lie. I've played this on and off in the past since it's been released. Just I go through a funk where it's kind of soothing. It's if you don't want to build, you play, but it is that soft.
Yeah.
I don't know. I like it. It's a lot of fun. So yeah.
Let's talk about overall
replayability.
It's there, but it gets old fast.
I don't know. I've gone through phases, like a month phase.
Well, I think what we played, building our 4 levels, was
enough for you.
Yeah, I'm done. It was fun, but it's like you gotta be in that creative mood to be able to actually build a functioning level.
But on the flip side, if you just want to play some levels,
oh yeah, absolutely.
And to me, if and when I have completely collected all the costumes, then I don't know what I'm going to do. Like, I probably won't go back to play this game unless they've released more costumes. Yeah. But until then, like, I feel like I can confidently continue to play this. I'll probably... and I've done this in the past, over the last, year or two, of you play it for a week, on and off after work, and then I'm done for another month or so, and go back and play it. And I think... for kids, especially if internet is not available, I think this would be fun for kids to play all the time. Right. It's not like it's too complex that kids can't beat it, and it's also, you know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, yep. It's easy enough for kids to build levels for their parents even, and that makes it fun for the whole family. I liked that you can play it just on the gamepad, which you can with all the Wii U games, but I really like how I can just turn the TV on and watch regular TV and then be playing Mario Maker kind of on the side during commercials or whatever. So that I liked that too. It kind of goes back to that therapeutic feel that we were talking before.
Right.
You can just kind of sit and zone out and just build a Mario level. It really is right? Kind of like doing a puzzle. Except it's more creative than just
more
a puzzle.
Like you're making the puzzle.
Yeah, you really are. And that goes back to, it's really hard to judge the difficulty level of the levels that you're creating. So as a creator, I have no idea how hard my levels are going to be until someone else plays them.
Which is what I have run into, apparently.
So what'd you give it for an overall?
I gave it a 10 out of 10.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
I gave it an 8 out of 10.
I really feel like they did good. Like, if this made them a lot of money, good, because it really is. I am glad I spent the money on this. If my game were to break, I would be really sad and go out and get another one. The only downfall, and I still didn't even mark it against it, is if the server, if they were to discontinue the online, this game would not be fun to me at all.
Sure. And that's really just an if and when, you know. I mean, as it stands right now, our scores are where they sit, you know. So, yeah, I gave it an 8 instead of a 10. Kind of going back to some of the points that I talked to before. I get bored of it quick. Some of the limitations kind of suck.
Yeah.
But otherwise, I mean, 8's a perfectly good score. It's just, there's a few things that it's like, okay, I'm kind of done playing now for a little while. But
I understand. I feel like the good outweighs the bad on my end.
Sure, yeah.
So yeah, I gave it an overall a 38 out of 50.
Yeah, mine's 42 out of 50.
Man.
So that's 80
out of
100. So that's a B-, which is a fair score. I think that
if I was a teacher, I'd curve it.
So instead of a thrift shop game this episode, we played each other's levels that we built over the past couple weeks. And, you want to talk about them a little bit?
Yeah.
So, for you, I played your 4 levels, and all of them were kind of on the difficult side.
You know, what's funny is I even had another difficult one, which I think would have been my easiest out of them all. But when we first decided to play this, which was actually a couple months ago, I uploaded one, and according to Mario Maker, I didn't get enough traffic or enough something.
Yeah.
So they deleted it. So I went back in to upload it just to play for this level, and I couldn't upload it. I couldn't save it again and upload it. I couldn't change stuff, rename it and upload. I mean, I tried everything. I just couldn't upload it. So I would have to absolutely recreate, which is impossible. I'm not going to spend all the time to recreate it. So one of my levels was not what I wanted you to play, which is, it is what it is. But my levels, yes, they were.
Instead of the one that you couldn't upload, I played the
Mario Goes to Work.
And that was my favorite one. I'm glad that you put that one in there, because that one was a lot of fun to play. Your other levels, I like levels that make you think, but I feel like that if you were to just kind of guide it, you know, have some sort of direction a little bit better,
a few more arrows
to give me an idea of which way you intend me to go. That was probably the hardest part about it. Was I get to a room and it's like, what am I doing? You know, when I was building them, I was trying to give some sort of indication of, hey, look, there's something here. What are you going to do about it? You know, so, and that's kind of the idea, to give you some hint as to which direction
I can't tell. You spent a lot of time going in the complete opposite direction that I thought you would go. Which, I should have put more arrows. I tried to put a few, like, ding-dongs, like, type of things. But it is... A couple of those were pretty hard. Even when I was playing them, they were kind of hard. Sure, yeah. So I get it. Mine were kind of difficult.
But otherwise, I mean, I love... I love the puzzle aspect to them. I love trying to figure out where you gotta go next and which way you gotta go. And the glitch thing was really cool.
Yeah, I can't take credit for that one, but it was a lot of fun.
Again, though, that one, I wouldn't have known had you not told me. So, I mean, to have some sort of arrow saying, hey, there's something going on here.
I have to say, that one was kind of thrown together last minute.
It's fine. I don't know.
I liked your cactar. That one was cute. You built your levels very different from mine. You used the platforms to make a room. like rooms and stuff. And I thought that was really cool because I kind of did that, but not. I used like solid blocks where you used actual platforms to like form a. I don't even know what you would want to call the first one. I played with the bombs.
Oh yeah.
But the house was really cool.
I loved the house one. That was my favorite.
That one was fun. My problem was I would see and I know I realized I did this too. I tried to avoid it. You could see where you were previously, but you thought it was a new room, so you thought, oh, I've got another room to go to. It's like, oh, no. And then you'd almost backtrack because you would think that, and then really you were already in that room.
Yeah.
But, no, I don't know if the ghost one's my favorite. I did really like it. The most challenging one was the last one, and it made me really... but I liked how it made me think. I had to really figure out how to do it. I do kind of like cheating and using the invincibility frames when you get hit and stuff.
Oh yeah. And I would do this same thing. And I really, when I build the levels, I'm going back and I'm like, okay, how could I cheat this?
Right.
Like, what can I do to, make it go faster, or, what would somebody else do to try and get around doing this obstacle that I've built?
I definitely spent a lot of time doing that too. Like it was where you were running as Resetti. Mm-hmm. That one, I spent a lot of time making, because there was a couple, I flew, I knew how the game worked, so I flew through that level a lot. So then I would run into the problem where the P would still be activated, so then some of my blocks were easily...
Right, yeah.
So it was like, you really had to be... So there's like coins oddly placed, well that would be why.
Right.
But yeah, you really have to think about those things, because you find that even when you're playing Mario Maker levels from other people, you'll find a way to beat the level in record time because you've got the cape, or you've got, something
they've missed something to limit you. And that was there were a handful of rooms that I built. There was the one room in, I think it was the ghost house one, where you go through a pipe and it gives you a mushroom in case you're small already.
Yeah.
It hurts you so that in case you have the cape, it brings you down a level, but then it gives you a mushroom again so that you're big again.
Right.
So it's like,
it's making sure
it's forcing you into a specific state.
Right.
So, yeah. I kind of like doing that kind of stuff, too.
That's... Again, the sky's the limit with these.
It really is. Yeah, it really is.
Really liked this game.
The bomb one was the very last one that I did. The first one that you played. And that one I started building just kind of out of nowhere. Mm-hmm. Like, I wanted to build a grassy landscape, but I wanted it... I kind of wanted it to have that feel of the Super Mario level where it's like hills and you have to jump from platform to platform with like the little spinny wheel thing.
Yes.
It's like in the first world, in Mario World. I kind of wanted to have that feel, but then as I started building it, it kind of transformed into this completely different thing.
It reminded me of like floating mountains.
Yeah.
Like kind of like I have it in my mind, but I guess the closest thing I can come to is like Pandora from Avatar.
Yep.
Like the floating. It was really cool. I liked that one. And the cactar.
The cactar was fun. I think I hit a creeper in one of them too.
Oh, did you?
Oh no, you didn't play that one. That was the very first one that I built. I didn't actually add to the list of games to play, or the levels to play. So yeah, you didn't see that one, but there was a creeper in one of them.
I believe you.
So yeah, like I said before, all the game codes, the level codes are going to be in the description. So if you guys are interested, go and play those. The gameplay that we did, you can find on our YouTube channel. I don't have a URL for the YouTube channel yet, so if you just go to zapnight.com, you should be able to find some of our YouTube stuff. Or you could just do a search in YouTube for Zap Night, and you should be able to find everything that we got going on. Got gameplay of all sorts of stuff from, the first, I think I have Art Tenelico still on there from the very first set of streams that I did. Man, I was watching Art Tenelico not too long ago, just for reasons, I guess. And it's like really bad. Like, the frame rate's really bad because I had that old capture card that just wasn't working right, and the audio's not quite there, and I don't know. So
that's funny.
But yeah, I'm having a lot of fun doing the podcast. I hope you guys are coming along with the ride a little bit. I have been, if you're listening to this on iTunes, I actually have been archiving everything to our YouTube channel. If you're watching this on YouTube, welcome, subscribe, because that helps the channel out a lot. And yeah, you can also find us on iTunes. So
yay!
It's really just getting our name out there a little bit more. Everybody who listens, I really appreciate it, and you know, it helps out the channel a lot. You know, I don't really do this for, you know, a bunch of people to listen to. I do it because I like playing video games, but if I can take a few of you guys along with me, all the better. So, yeah, thank you guys so much for listening to this episode. Oh, I want to talk about our next episode is actually going to be Super Metroid for the Super Nintendo. And I'm playing it on the Super Nintendo Classic because it looks amazing. So you guys can check out gameplay of that on our YouTube channel as well. So, yeah, look forward to that next month, and we'll see you guys next time.